We want to start off with a reminder that we are not doctors. Before you make any changes or try something new, always consult with your doctor and medical team first. Chronic illness can vary from patient to patient, so it's always best to consult with your own doctor for what is best for you.
Hello and welcome back to I Be Determined. I'm your host, Mason Harvey, and I speak from the role of a patient, and I have Crohn's disease.
And I'm Michelle Harvey, your other host, and I speak in the role of a caregiver. And today we have something I've been so excited to announce, and we just actually debuted these about 2 days ago. So we'll start with that.
We were at the blood bank at Comic-Con.
Yeah, in San Diego.
In San Diego, yes.
Yeah, so that was cool.
That was very cool.
Lived here my entire life. He's lived here his whole life,
never
obviously,
been,
and
never been to Comic-Con.
And he's been invited by the blood bank to, as part of Team Survivor, to do this. Several members of Team Survivor go down to the Comic-Con blood bank and visit donors and walk through the center and thank everybody.
Cool thing.
Yeah, it is. Mason has not had the opportunity to be able to do that just due to different things with the disease.
Yeah, with disease,
you guys understand to have this
bad immune system. There's the disease part of it, where it's not fully under control. And so
there's a lot of things to just consider because obviously we didn't go into Comic-Con.
No, we didn't go into Comic-Con.
We were at the Manchester Grand Hyatt, which is just right next door, basically. But we went in there and there was still, I would say, hundreds of people in this room.
Definitely.
There's people... the people working there, people volunteering, there were the people, hundreds of seats.
And there were just hundreds. It's actually crazy how they are all able to keep that in check.
Yeah.
How many did they say they got a day?
I think they said about 700,
700
a day.
700 a day. 700 blood donors a day. And then there's a bunch that are double reds.
Yeah.
So,
they had like a section. So like when you walked in, there was, like I said, like hundreds of chairs. And this is where the people who wanted to donate would go sit down. They call you up. They do like the pre-physical and make sure you're okay to donate blood. And then depending what type you're donating, they had a couple different sections. And it was just wall to wall.
It was crazy.
People. And the seats were, for the most part, I think less were filled for maybe the double reds, which made sense. It takes a little bit longer.
But a lot of them were almost like 80% maybe.
Yeah.
There were only one or two seats that didn't have anyone in them. And then when we came back, all of them were full.
They were full. And so we were able to do like one loop and then we were there for around an hour and a half.
I was thinking all of them too. It was very cool. Get to asking their personal stories. They've been doing it for how many years? This is their first time. And there were people from all over.
India, Montana, San Francisco, St. Louis.
And they're all coming to San Diego's Comic-Con, So that's pretty cool. So then we are called up. We go in an elevator, go upstairs. Well, not upstairs, up elevator. Very nice elevator, actually.
Yeah.
Very quiet. But then we go over to the room with our creation, which we're going to explain a bit because that's still a surprise. And we're waiting there for a bit. Then we go into the boardroom, which has the board of directors, right?
Right. They're having there. They decided to hold their meeting. I think this is one of the first times they've done this for the board of directors at the Comic-Con time of the year, the location. So Mason was invited to be the guest speaker, which he did. And went over very well.
It did.
They also bought some books. You'll see behind us, we are missing quite a few. You can't tell. But we typically have,
a bunch usually right here.
We usually have a bunch more. So they ended up getting some books and
getting a lot of books. I signed all of them too.
And so it was really cool. I would say it was something we definitely want to do again.
And then we also had a friend there too.
Yeah, a friend of ours. Yes, he's a cartoonist. He's an artist,
professional,
and he is someone you will meet at Comic-Con. He cosplays it, with a steampunk character that he created, Dr. Peepers.
It was a very cool outfit. Yeah. He had all these gears all over and stuff, and
but he surprised Mason and came by.
It was very cool because he was actually there the day before giving blood, and so we told him, "Oh, we're going by the next day." He's like, "Oh man," but he's like, "Wait, I'll come see you."
Yeah, he's like, "What time will you be there?" And so he made time, and I think that's one of the biggest things with everybody there is that all these people. I mean, if you go down there, and you will see how many people are outside and who are waiting in lines, waiting outside to get into Comic-Con. How busy it is. These people took their time and decided to go donate blood.
It's very cool.
And
So
yeah,
one of the main things I'd say is because everyone at Comic-Con is dressing up right. That's very cool. They're all dressing up as heroes and stuff or villains, whatever you like. I don't know. Everyone's going Comic-Con. You're waiting in time. You're waiting in the line. And you have people who are going to the blood bank instead of going to Comic-Con to donate blood. And it's like, okay, well, people are over there dressing up as heroes. You're over here being the real hero, right?
yeah,
Because you spent the time, the money, or well, if you're going to Comic Con, but you're taking the time
right.
to go donate blood because there was someone there who was donating blood and they got tickets and the father and son
Oh,
were there,
their
but she was
family.
donating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
their family did, but she wasn't able to get one, so she's like,
yeah. So she was just to donate blood. So
donate blood.
that was very nice
But
of
even
her.
the people like the gentleman we met that came from India.
Yeah, he was. It's
I mean,
like
you'll come all the
wow,
way out here,
all the way from India to go to
like,
Comic
oh, you
Con.
know what? I'll
Yeah,
do
I'll
that
donate
too.
blood.
So just
Amazing people,
a
amazing
really
people.
cool experience altogether. Kind of made it even cooler for us to debut our new idea that we're gonna
Hmm.
talk to you guys about here. Cool thing with this is hopefully some of you will want to get involved. That's the idea
Yes,
here.
yes. It's something that everyone
Mhm.
can do.
Yeah, because I always my family it's a joke over here how many nonprofits I try to start or do start.
Yes.
And but I really do, I have a lot of ideas and not enough time, probably not enough money for all the ideas I have either. But
About raised.
yeah, but there was one idea that had been kind of floating around in my head that I want to do. And
Very cool.
Mason, though, the first thing was to get him through his college class, which
Yes,
he
just
did.
finished English
He
201.
finished.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Got an A plus.
Yeah, A
Yeah.
plus. So he did excellent. So he
Yeah.
finished on Thursday, and then on Friday he was at his computer with his AutoCAD on, trying to create a 3D design.
What it is what she is, so she had the idea, right? So she shows me this picture that she drew. It's
I
this
was like, "Were you willing to do this?"
it's a blood drop, it's a blood drop shape
Yeah.
and
Actually, I guess we can just show you. We'll
yeah,
probably pop up
there'll
the
be
picture
pictures.
here. There'll be a picture
But
for you
basically,
guys.
what it is one blood drop with three hearts inside of it, and the hearts are all connected. So basically, what it's representing is that for every blood donation that you give, you have the potential to save three lives, and those three lives are all coming from that same donation, which is why they're all connected with
Right?
all with the blood and
Yeah.
each of the hearts.
And
So,
I want to say I was so proud of Mason for trying to do
mhm.
this because I know he looked at this and was probably thinking,
Boy,
I don't know if I can do this because most of the stuff you had done up to this point with AutoCAD was through your class, which were
mhm.
assignments
Yeah, and
and there was
they did a step by
instructions.
step process.
Right. And which you did great. And this was, I think, the first thing
That I
that
just done.
you were like, all right, I'm gonna create this. And so I think at first he was kind of like, I think this is a weird idea. Like maybe we don't need it. And then I think you're like, you know what? I do like the
I want to give it a
idea.
try.
I just am a little nervous to try this,
Mhm.
but I will. And honestly, the worst thing that could have happened is it didn't work.
Yeah,
Like
that's the worst that could
we
happen.
can there are plenty, just so everybody out there knows, there's plenty of websites where you can print 3D objects that other people create and kind of donate to let you print.
There's
And
insane things.
yeah,
Like they have the Jungle Cruise boat, the ride, not the movie. The movie's
yeah,
pretty good. But the ride, they have the boat that you ride in, they have
yeah.
that and it's pretty detailed.
Right. Now you can't sell these things
You
just so
can't
you know.
sell
These
these.
are not,
No, these
but
are
like
not to
if you want
sell.
to do something personal for yourself to print something, there's cool things like that.
Yeah.
And so
Not
it's
selling these.
no.
You're not
And
selling.
and so the really cool thing is that Mason though did try and he I would say very quickly was able to come up with something even better than the drawing. But what it is, he also had to build on the top of it like a little loop.
Yeah, a little loop.
Like a charm. So like if you have like a charm bracelet, you know how they can attach to like you have the little loop on the top and you put it through your bracelet or whatever. So
Mhm.
kind of something like a charm like this would have a loop on it. And so he created that
It
too.
was very fun. Actually, it was pretty fun. The only two hard things that I encountered was that because the blood drop shape that she drew was like it was a realistic looking drop, where it
Yeah.
has the curve.
Right.
But
Right.
on AutoCAD, it's kind of hard to do that. I used the spline. I don't know if there's a better way to do it. If you do know, leave that in the comments.
Let him know.
Yeah, let me know. But I couldn't really figure out with the spline, SP line, whatever it's called, because it just wouldn't. I mean, it had the look, kind of like it had the curve, just wasn't looking right to me. So I just did a straight line instead,
Yeah.
which actually did look better.
I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah. And so then I drew the
Probably
hearts.
stronger too.
Yeah,
Maybe where that
stronger
neck
too.
of it
Yeah, actually,
connects.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's better anyways.
So I think structurally it was better too.
And then the other hard thing, which I don't know why it happens, but sometimes when I'm making something 3D, you're making it 3D,
Mhm.
and then I rotate the camera, for some reason it gets all like the bottom, what's supposed to be the bottom is now sideways like this, and the 3D object is going through it like this. And it gets goofy sometimes, so I just had to go back a few steps and redo it.
I think that's how
But
you learn,
yeah,
right?
but those are the only two things that I really had problems with. I mean, they're not that awful, but it's just like, oh, that's kind of annoying.
But it was pretty cool
But other
to
than that, it was actually really fun.
actually go hit print because he was able to do that, then turn it to an STL
Hmm.
file so that we could 3D print this.
Yeah, so we 3D printed it.
And we were like, it's all right if it doesn't turn out. We'll just see what happens. And it was perfect.
It was perfect. Hmm.
First time out, perfect. Exactly what we were looking for. Basically, what it is, it's like
3 inch, yeah. 3 inch by 1.5.
but the charm
The charm
itself,
itself, yeah, is like
about two and a half,
2.2.
somewhere around there. Yeah. And so we had to make it a specific size and we'll tell you more why in a second. So
Hmm.
so basically we had created this and the exciting thing is that now I can challenge him to make other
Yes,
these.
now we know how it works.
Now we know and
We can make a Reggie.
it doesn't. That'd be so cute. And
Hmm.
one of our good friends, my friend Tracy, had made one for me, some like a little Reggie 3D printed one,
Really?
but a large. But it would be cool to do something like that. The neat thing with these is that I now know that this idea that had been in my mind for so long was real. Like all of a sudden, and
You can see it
Mason
in
made
front
it
of you.
happen.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was so exciting because I'm like, okay, maybe we have a shot at this because this would be cost effective. This would be something we could ask others
Mhm.
to help. Now you have your file. We can share Mason's file with anybody who wants
Yeah,
to
and
help
they can
print
help print
these.
them.
And so that's kind of the idea behind that is that this is something to be cost effective. We
Mhm.
could get help with.
Can help do it, so we can all do it
Yeah.
together, a team effort.
And like a thing of filament, like, a big spool. And we can clearly, we made like 22 of these, 23 to hand out to
We're not
Ludwig.
even close to halfway through.
And we're
So.
not even
No,
like I don't think we
not
made a
even.
dent. And
No, we
so
really did it.
and like the cost of one of those is around $25 on Amazon.
But the thing is, $25, I mean, quite a bit. But
It's
the
a lot
thing
of
is,
buy a lot of spools,
but
but
the thing is, when you're going through like when you're making these little 3 inch by 2 inch,
yeah,
little thing, I mean 3 inch by 1.5, it doesn't take much at all. And so it's actually very,
right.
very, I guess, cheap for what you're getting. So,
And so there's a reason why all these things had to be considered, the ease of creation, the ease
mhm.
of printing,
The
the cost,
time.
the time.
Hmm.
And
Because I'm not
so
sitting here for 1 hour waiting
right,
for it to print,
right.
because then you're only making about 5 a day because you're obviously not going to be cooking it every single
Like
time.
this prototype that we made took 6 minutes to
Yeah,
print.
only 6 minutes, which is
Right.
very, very short.
Basically, what it is they are called Karmatude
Clips.
clips.
Karmatude clips.
And the idea kind of came about to me for a couple different reasons. I know, I thought when we go to the hospital, we see other kids there, hear them, like when we're in the infusion center, especially,
Mhm.
you're separated by either curtains or rooms, depending on where the location is.
Yeah.
And the current center we're at, separated by
Curtains.
curtains.
Mhm.
So you can hear some kids are pretty calm. Some kids are talking about their stories. Some
And
kids are yeah, some kids are very loud, like
Yeah, I mean,
Mason
I
was.
was too, so I can't blame
Yeah,
them. We used to be in the same boat. I was
yeah,
breaking nurses' ears. I
yeah,
had to have 3 people hold me down for the first
right.
infusion that I did. So,
And so our thought was, and I know we've always all said this together, not with this particular idea, but
yeah,
just in general, like we wish we could be there
yeah,
to
to
help
help and,
and maybe offer some words of advice or
yeah.
encouragement to these kids. Sometimes, I mean, you have a kid that's surrounded by adults, there's nurses,
And
but
the adult was like, "Oh, don't worry, it won't hurt." And the kid's like,
they're just trying to convince you to just do it. Like,
"Yeah,
just sit here. But I think it would be cool to also hear from
another
another
kid."
kid
Mhm.
that is like, yeah, it hurts.
It does hurt.
But
Mhm.
quickly, if you just hold still, the calmer you stay, the easier it is. Maybe hearing from a kid
Mhm.
being honest, they'll trust that and listen to that. So,
I also know you're gonna feel a lot better
yeah.
after it.
But like we can't just jump into people's like
No,
space
imagine if
and
we could just
into
appear. We're like Harry Potter with
yeah.
there's a spell that lets you appear places.
There's also like HIPAA rules and stuff. Like
Yeah,
we
you
can't.
can't do that, obviously.
So we just try to, I'm like, we're like, that'd be cool. Or even when people are newly diagnosed in the
Yeah,
hospital,
help them understand.
it's like we wish we had somebody who had
Yeah,
the
because when you
disease.
get when you get diagnosed, you feel alone, And
Right.
so at least if, maybe you got this clip to talk about it and say, hey, I have this too.
Mason's giving you a clue. We haven't told you what it does yet, but we're
No,
giving
but I'm
them a
giving them a
clue.
clue.
Yeah, if you haven't
Yeah.
guessed yet.
Yeah, if you haven't guessed yet, and you're gonna feel like someone's there with you.
Right. And
Hmm.
and able to even have something you wish you could talk to another, a caregiver could talk to another caregiver
Hmm.
and just hear like, where are you at now? Where does this disease go? Who can I contact? You're all these questions. So a lot of this is thinking about what would have helped Mason, what would have helped me as his mom, to be a better caregiver with this. And so then the idea went further, like, okay, well, we love to help the San Diego Blood Bank.
Hmm.
Mason loves to go down there and thank people.
Yes.
How can you thank people?
Yeah, because I mean, we wish we could thank every blood donor down
Right.
there, but
We
it's not
know,
possible.
like when we visit certain centers like the Vista Center, certain team survivor members live closer to certain centers and may make appearances
Hmm.
and go in there. We do visit the Vista one, even at Comic-Con. One of the nurses from
Yeah.
Liberty Station, she's like, I know you
You need
guys.
to come over to,
Please come to Liberty Station.
like,
And
okay.
sure. We've built a reputation for ourselves because we bring treats.
Cookies. The blood bank people love
It's
cookies.
so much us or the cookies. No, it's you, definitely you.
Definitely me,
But
treat like a cookie.
yes, it's a cool feeling to
I
be
know, we'll
able.
3D print them cookies.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll love that.
that'd be funny.
That'd be
They're
so
like,
messed up.
no.
That'd be so messed up.
Yeah, it's a neat feeling to be able to thank people. And just like even at Comic-Con, a couple of people told Mason this is the first time they've met someone from Team Survivor, someone who has received blood, and
Mhm.
it meant a lot to them to know
Yeah,
that
to
hey,
see someone.
this he's alive because you did
Because you
that.
did that, it's
And
because of you.
yeah, so how do we thank people when not all of Team Survivor can be there because,
Clearly, we
it's
can't
not
be there
everyone
all
can.
day.
So it's like, okay, so putting this all together in my head, I mean, I've always had these little pieces. I'm like, got this little puzzle in my head. I've got all these
Yeah,
pieces. I've got a lot of puzzles.
yeah, I know.
God, so many.
Oh, too many puzzles.
Oh, well, this
Building
is
puzzles.
one I'm trying to solve. I might actually
Yeah,
finish
there's
the
a few that
puzzle.
we just put off, and then there's
Yeah.
that she's trying to finish.
And so I was like, we could design something that could
Mhm.
do all these
All
things.
these things. Hmm.
And that is where these Karmatude clips came in. What if we did different shapes or had different things? Basically, like for an infusion center, you might have a clip that would help somebody who is a high fear patient, who's a
Yes.
first time patient, who maybe just needs to be distracted. Maybe they just don't want to look at it. Something needs to be distracted. You may have, like we said, a new IBD person who's been diagnosed that could use this as well. And then
Mhm.
these are things that we could leave at the
Or
blood bank.
maybe even one to where if a kid is afraid to get in a different spot because they're so used to having it in one spot and there's scar tissue,
Mhm.
and if they have to get another spot, it might help them to hear words of encouragement to say, well,
Because
it could help in another
I
spot,
think
it won't
people
hurt.
may not realize unless you've been somewhere where you've had an IV. Sometimes it is scary for kids to have it in a different spot because when they
Yes.
get used to it in a certain and sometimes areas are more painful than
Because
others.
when I get it here,
Yeah.
it's not that bad, because you're able to move your hands. I mean, you can obviously move your arm and still feel it, but it's
Right.
not that terrible. But then when you have it like right here, for me, I can feel it a lot when I move. However, when you have scar tissue here
Yeah.
and you get it over here, it's better right here because it doesn't hurt as much because of the scar tissue and it's easier for the nurses. I was scared to move it because I was so used to having it in the elbow.
It was a big deal.
And then they're like, "Should we try the arm?" And I'm like,
No.
"No."
He was like really.
So I finally just tried it. And,
Yeah. So there's like realistic things that we know that we would like to be able to help other kids with. Okay, sure. So now you have a cute clip. We're going to have different designs we create and things like that. How do you share a message? So on the back of these clips, there's going to be a QR code,
Mhm.
and it's going to take you to
Figuring out how to do
a
that.
unique video with Mason.
Yes.
Or we'll talk about this, or we're going to go with
We're
it
gonna go with this.
potentially.
Mhm.
But there'll be a link to Mason who will be like, you click on it and he'll say hi. So like what we did for the blood bank, because these are the first ones, is Mason introduces himself, says he's part Team Survivor, and basically thanks people for donating. It's about 45 seconds. The thought is hang this clip up on the IV bag or hang it somewhere nearby. You can use your phone while you're sitting there.
Yeah, just scan it.
Scan it.
Scan it.
And it's a message you can get with a personal message, seeing a face, hearing a voice, feeling like somebody
Someone
took
who's
the
hanging out
time.
there with you.
Yeah, they took the time to hang out. They
Put the
are,
time to record the video. They put the
yeah,
time to listen to you. They put the time to
and then to
help
create
you
these.
feel like they're there
And
with you.
also we want them to keep them.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody
They're
wants
not
to.
something that you give back to the hospital when you're done with them. It's something you can keep. Kind of like the same idea with these is that if you have a high fear patient, they get a different looking thing, a
Right.
symbol for fear, and it helps talk them through it. And
Mhm.
so there's going to be a bunch of different kinds. There's a blood drop one, which is for the blood bank, obviously, and the donors. And then there's a kind for patients, where the high fear or just help them focus on something else.
And so we can have Mason record different links, like different videos, and these are going to be shared on YouTube, but not publicly. So these are going to be
So
only
these are
accessible
exclusive
if you have
to
the
the
QR
clips.
code. Yeah. So these aren't something you can just log on and find. This is going to be individual messages that match the Karmatude clip that'll go with it. The kind of some of the ideas like we had, because part of my ideas with some of these nonprofits that I want to do is I think it's very important for kids to become involved in
Yes.
giving back. I think it is very important for them to learn at a young age the feeling of what it's like to help somebody, and not always to benefit you in some way, but to benefit somebody else. That's what it's about. And there's a lot of healing that comes with it. So even patients can do this as well. The idea is to ask them to maybe record.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we can create
The QR
design
code.
or the QR code
Oh yeah, the
design.
design. So yeah, we would create, basically say, hey, can you record a video, like maybe have different topics that you might have experience in. It
So it's
could
not
be
just going
with,
to be me, it's going to
yeah,
be other patients as
right.
well.
And it could even be an adult too.
Yeah, it can
Kids
be
would be
adult.
great though, I
Yes.
think, to talk from kid to kid. And I think adults could use these clips too. I mean, I think that just because you're an adult doesn't mean you're not scared, and doesn't mean you don't want to be supported. Or so I think that these are great for anybody. And we have a lot of different angles we want to take these in. And one of the things, besides asking other people to record clips, and like Mason was saying, we could ask you guys, we could put it out there, help us out, because obviously this is something we want to be able to give and donate at no
Yes.
cost.
No.
We
Yeah,
want
we're
to.
not having them buy
No,
these.
so
These are
nothing for profit here. This is really
like I
something.
said, we always make jokes about all the nonprofits you run. This
Yeah,
is
I
another
know.
one.
This is another one.
Adding a six
But
to the box.
I know that with medical, so everything is so
Yeah,
expensive.
it is. And
And
so, it's like paying for health. Obviously, that's what it is,
yeah,
healthcare.
so it's just like a
Mhm.
little something, and we want people to be able to keep these.
Yeah.
And so the idea is maybe they can have them, they can look at them, and maybe they want to scan them again and hear the message again at another time. And
Inspirational.
so it's like we want it to be something inexpensive enough that we can create, that we can give away, and that has meaning and value to the person receiving it. We've already set up, so we have goodkarmastand.com. We have that website. And you can access the Karmatude clips through there. You can also access it through our karmatudecandles.com as well. So we'll have a link there. And then you'll be able to see our new logo. You'll see, kind of like we've talked about here, it's on there. But eventually we have like where people can sign up. So you can volunteer to do different things to help us
clips.
out.
Yes.
And even if you have a design for a clip that maybe you would like to donate, and we can print it
we can
too.
print it.
Even if maybe you have the ability to design things, you don't have a 3D printer. Maybe you have the 3D printer and you don't know how to design. So there's something kind of for everybody. And even if you don't have expertise in an area, maybe you have a story
To
you
tell.
can share to help
And we'd
others.
love to take that and be able to put it in a clip to help you be heard and
Right.
help you with that, because if you don't know how to make the clips or the design or the QR code, we got
Yeah.
that for you.
So basically, you could record something, send it to us, and then we'll take care of it from there. All you got to do is record something. You can do it on your phone. You can, set up something. You can do whatever you want. One of the ideas we have that we want to do is like take a patient to Disneyland. Have different, we have to be very careful here. We can't print things that look just like what Disney has.
No, because that's obviously
we don't want copyright infringement, anything like that. But the idea would be to go on a ride and have a clip that probably corresponds to something.
Yeah, so
the
it's
ride.
like the Runaway Mine Train. You just have
maybe like a train.
Like a train, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be exactly like it, but that way, and then maybe while they're getting their infusion,
they can watch it,
watch it. And so yeah, we know people have iPads and can look up their own stuff, but this is kind of something.
Yeah, and you get a free 3D
printed
thing with you,
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas of things that would have helped Mason. And, all the people were so good. The nurses were good, the child life is good, but sometimes there's that missing element, I
Yeah,
think.
because it's not like Child Life has kids.
Right. They're not bringing in a
There.
kid like a 10-year-old to hold your hand and be like,
Yeah, like it'll be okay. Well, no, it won't be.
but
It
I
will be
think,
okay, but we understand that it
like,
hurts for
you
the
would have
time.
believed if another kid came up to you and talked to you about the IV, like, would have been like, you probably would have listened to them more than any other adult in that room.
Because when adults, they say, obviously, we would
I don't
never
think you
believe it.
trusted
No,
them. You're
the
like,
thing is when they say
me,
it
no
doesn't,
more.
because they say, "Oh, don't worry, the shot won't be that bad." It's
Yeah.
like, well, you're an adult and you're meant to take things well, right? It's your job, but no, you don't have to take things well. It
Yeah.
just it's like you just want me to get this, don't you?
That's it. You feel like, I know what your goal is. You're going to talk to me, tell
Because the
me
thing is, if I'm
whatever.
being honest, if I was being honest with a kid, I'm a nurse and say, "Oh yes, this will hurt a lot." It's not gonna make it any better.
Right.
But you need to handle it in a way. It's like, so it will hurt. However, this and this, it's gonna feel this way.
Yeah.
There's a way to be honest, but not deceiving. It's it's
Right.
gonna be painless. Don't worry about it.
No, and I think so many of these kids have been through so much, and honesty is important. I
Hmm.
think that if you can build that trust, then when you tell them these things, they will believe, like, okay,
That's from a kid.
yeah. And so if you say, well, yeah, I used to not like these either. And here's what I used. I used a cream, a numbing cream. I used the Buzzy Bee. I used
Cold
the
spray.
spray. So there's different things you might want to mention. And so I think the nurses are phenomenal. This is not to
No,
replace them,
we're
but
not. We're not replacing the nurses. The thing
no,
is,
or child life.
no, we're not replacing child life either. No.
It's just like it's a tool for them to use that we hope might make something easier actually on the nurses so
Because it
they
gives you
can.
something to focus on other than
Yes,
nurses.
yes. And so we would like to get these into obviously our hospital.
Hmm.
We're definitely willing to, if you're watching this and you like some of these at your hospital, you'd like to bring some in, and
Send some to you.
like, we can do that too, and we can send those. And so we'd like to get them into places, to infusion centers,
Hmm.
blood banks,
Blood banks, yeah, blood
hospital.
banks.
If you feel like this is something you're interested in, let us know. And we can also contact Child Life in your hospital if you want us to reach out. That's the other thing, is we can help coordinate all of this. But if an adult wants to help and wants to see these in their hospital, let us know. And we can, we're in the we're in the early phases of all of it. But I do think it's something that is exciting and that is helpful and that we really can afford to do.
Yeah.
Some of my ideas,
Yeah, they're good ideas, but the thing is,
it's
we
like,
don't have $1 million.
yeah, it's like I can't just throw that away on this. We do
Mhm.
have a lot of medical expenses and bills and just regular
Yeah.
life. We live in
The
Southern
thing is,
California.
you're paying $25 for about, I don't know, 200 of these clips.
Probably, and probably more. We're gonna
Probably
find
more.
out.
Mhm.
We'll find out. But
But I mean, it's not too expensive. Obviously, it still
yeah,
costs money, but it's not that
we
expensive.
can ask for help.
Yeah, and we can ask for help.
We can ask for help. Others, and if somebody wants to buy a filament and give it to us, awesome.
That'd be.
We have the machine, we have everything else. We even bought clips, so they have like a little lobster claw. I think it's called a lobster claw clip.
Mhm.
But it's like,
Yeah,
so we
actually,
put
that does
those on
make sense.
Amazon, and those are pretty cost efficient too. They're pretty inexpensive in total. I mean, maybe they're like 25. I don't even know. We'll know more as we go along. I could probably do the math and figure this out. I'm sure someone else can tell you how much filament goes exactly into something like this, and we could do the math. But
Mhm.
very cost efficient. Others can definitely help. And if it does go where we'd like it to, I really like to turn this into a real operating nonprofit
Yes,
organization.
that's a big idea, but
Right.
at the same time, it's still possible, and we love to make that
Right.
happen.
Right. And so we have, I have a few other ideas. That's why we have Good Karma Stand, because within that could be a few different nonprofit ideas
Yeah,
within
ideas.
that, like it's an umbrella.
Yeah,
And so we have
it's
things
an
that go
umbrella
with
term.
it.
Mhm.
Right. And
Umbrella term,
yeah.
Good Karma Stand, IBD.
Yeah, and we really want to do help IBD patients with these, because a lot of times it's like, how do we get into that hospital room with you when you're not diagnosed? And
Not literally.
right, and it's like,
Like, oh.
it's not like the hospital's
Yeah.
going to say, hey, this family, because of HIPAA, again, I don't think they can do a lot of
Yeah.
this stuff. So this is something to connect
And the
us.
thing is, it's helpful because, obviously we be careful. But the thing is, if you have a bad immune system like me, you
Right.
probably don't want some random family coming into your room, even
No.
though the hospital says,
We would
"Oh,
have
don't worry,
been
they're safe."
so freaked out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we would have been freaked out.
And
So, maybe a clip would help.
yeah, so the cool part is basically a child life specialist or IBD, a GI doctor could bring one of these in and it could introduce, we could leave information with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, just different resources in that very beginning where we could be there to help somebody without physically being in their room and hearing any of their personal details. We don't have to know anything, but I think that would have been really comforting to hear from, see another family or see another child. Because when you're in there and things are going so bad, it feels like you're the only ones who you're like, who else has this? Who else can I talk to? And so it would have helped a lot to see another kid who was like, yeah, I was in the hospital for months.
Yeah.
And look at me now. Like
look at where I went, because I remember being in the hospital and my mom was showing me a video of a kid dancing.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you started to cry.
Yeah, because the kid,
I felt really bad.
Crohn's disease, right?
He had Crohn's disease.
And I'm just looking at and I know how I'm feeling right now. I'm attached to the IV and going, and I start crying because so she thinks it's like inspirational. Look what she could be
I was
doing.
like, look at this is how well, and he's like,
And
I'm never gonna be able to do that again.
I didn't think I'd ever be able to do that again, but I could definitely do that now, and
right. But at the time,
it did not feel like
right.
it.
And so something I've learned is also like if we record these would not be clips of like Mason showing off how
Look at
flexible
what I can do.
like he can use the golf club. Look at what I can do. It's not like it would not be something like that because I think the people receiving these, you don't know where they're at and what headspace they're in. And so you don't want to discourage. That is so it's just meant to encourage and give hope and give understanding that we're all going to be in different places.
We're not showing off, we're showing empathy.
Right. And that's important.
And relating to them,
And it's something, I mean, I think that's something I've really learned with this disease. And something else I've kind of started to notice. I mean, this is a little bit off topic, but even on social media, it really seems like they really are rewarding the people who look a certain way or like they get more attention for different and I feel like this disease doesn't attack just people who look one way or who are athletic or
it attacks everybody
who are influencers and some people are more comfortable online and other people with this disease who have
you're gonna have people who we might have an easier story,
right,
and then you're gonna have a person. I mean, my story is definitely not easy. I have to do 2 treatments a
right,
week, but I mean, I'm doing great now. And you're gonna have someone who doesn't want to share that, and they can't find anything that treats them.
right,
and they're like, oh, you found something that treats you?
like, well, you're at the hospital every 2 weeks. Well, at least you're doing well. And
yeah,
so
you're doing well,
it's
and so there's definitely going to be people out there where people are looking at me going, oh, that's terrible. And then there's these people out there who aren't getting their word out, and they're doing worse,
right,
and it's like,
and so I think part of this is us being able to reach out to those people in a positive way that isn't showing off on Instagram.
No, we don't want to show
that isn't trying to get, more likes and trying to be like, it's hard to explain, but I just feel like there's this whole segment, like maybe there's 10 people that have, bags that have the bags and they're showing them off and shows and other people
and then there's like
them,
200 others and they're like
that are like I would never want to share that. That doesn't mean I'm not happy with my life or I'm insecure. I just don't want to share that. And that's really important. I think sometimes it makes other people feel like, wow, they're so much more brave and so much more brave. They're showing, but even like Mason sharing his story doesn't make him any different than somebody who's not
I just
willing
want to help others learn.
Right. And so I feel a responsibility to approach this disease in a manner that is for everybody, not just the, and not even the worst parts. It's not like you have to show like, this is how good I look now. Look at how I looked before.
Yeah, that was terrible. The kids gonna be like, what?
Yeah, no, it just like what we do here.
No.
Just a very
just talking,
regular life, like real life. And so I think having something that they can relate to and they can take with them and maybe collect and have these little reminders. And I think that is really important. So anyways, that's Karmatude Clips.
Yeah.
And they are working on that. We're working on that now. So you're welcome to check out the website, follow along. We'll update. I haven't announced this yet. This isn't even
this is going to be the first time you hear.
Yeah, so if you guys are
at the time of recording, at least.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm going to post until this comes out. So I'll let you guys be the first ones to hear about this. And then I start talking about this on our Instagram page. So which leads me to our Instagram page. We are at Team IB Determined. You can see Mason at the blood bank. I'm going to put some pictures in. You'll probably have already seen them if you watch this. But if you're listening and you want to see pictures, they will be on our Team IB Determined, and you can see what we're doing.
Yeah, we're going to be going down to the Marinara Bank.
Yeah. The Marinara Bank. They love that though.
They do. They do.
Loves it. Anyways, if you've read our book, you know what we're talking about. It's in Not Your Average Slice of Pizza. Check it out. It's on Amazon if you haven't. So you can also follow the Reggie Project on Instagram as well. And you guys can listen to us on any podcast station, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and we also have a link.
And there's a link to Buzzsprout, which will have all the links to all the other podcasts. But I mean, if you're listening to one right now, I assume you found the one that works for you. And then if you want to watch us, there's also YouTube. And there's YouTube podcasts, which are kind of new.
Yeah, like a year ago.
They were new a year ago. We're still saying they're new because trend,
Yeah.
But if you want to
listen to us on there,
yeah. But if you want to watch us or listen to us, and also if you are listening to YouTube podcasts, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want to be notified every time we post a new video, to make sure to hit that bell icon. And also, please leave comments because we love getting comments, but just make sure they're kind.
Yeah, and if you guys feel like you want to participate in some way or have a suggestion for the Karmatude Clips, feel free to let us know. And if we're slow to get back to you on it, we're still developing the idea, we're doing, but we'll take notes, we'll get information, take names if anybody wants us to take their name and put them down in case they're interested in helping in some way. We'll have more information on the website for that as well. And I'll leave the links to the website as well in the description so you guys can see that. And so with that, guys, we hope you have a great
day, great summer. Maybe you had a good Comic-Con. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if you were there. Hopefully it's a good day. Hope everyone's doing well.
Hope everyone the best.
Yeah. Okay. And we will see you guys back here.
Yeah, in the next 2 weeks in the next episode.
That's right. Yes. All right. See you then.
See you. Bye. Bye.
We hope you will stick around, tune in, and reach out to us with your own journeys. We are excited to give you an inside view of what it takes to be a caregiver and what it's like to be a patient.
And most of all, we hope you'll maybe be able to play something you hear on here that might help you in your own life. Sometimes life changes, and it's all about how you handle the journey.